I'llBeHonest.com.
I want to give my testimony today to glorify Jesus Christ, to exalt Him for this testimony that happens to be my life story. Isn't about me, it's about Him. It's about the Lord Jesus and what He's done in my life to glorify Himself and to demonstrate His power. I will start off just about as far back as I can go. As my memory serves, I went through a lot of things as a child that psychologically stopped my memory at points. There was points in my childhood that I don't remember, but I'll go back as far as I can remember. From maybe 4 years old, as a very small boy, was a victim of abuses. One of my earliest memories was being attacked by a sick man, took advantage of me. And this was just the beginning of what seemed to be a constant in my life, abuse. My mom's second husband, still in grade school, probably 6 or 7, was the most cruel man that I've ever known in my life. And it was amazing because it was the first Christian that I ever knew. He was, he went from coffee and Kenneth Copeland in the morning to Jack Daniels, Hank Williams Jr., Coors Light by the afternoon into the evening. This was every day. So as a small boy, I didn't really understand the things of God. I didn't understand Christianity. It made no sense to me at all. This man was brutal. The violence in the home was every day, without fail. I mean, my memory, trying to recall, it wasn't it wasn't every now and then. It was just a constant in the home. It was every day. And at that time, we were introduced, me and my brother, to the Old Testament biblical stories. We had a children's Bible, and I don't recall if it was with that in addition to my mom talking to us about it, or if it was just through that text, that children's Bible. But I began to read about the power of God and the things that He would do in these Old Testament accounts, Moses and Noah. So I latched hold to this as a means of escape from this life. And as a small boy, I began to pray. And I prayed and I prayed, and I can remember many, many nights. I prayed for years, crying myself to sleep, listening to my mom's torturous screams just daily, until I stopped praying. I just stopped praying. It didn't seem like God heard me. It didn't seem like nothing ever happened. Nothing got any better. If it could get any worse, I don't know. But so when that violence really started spilling out to me and my brother, my mom came and woke us up one night. I'll never forget. It was at the end of an evening or a night of just a really violent night that had spilled out onto me and my brother, and that was it for my mom. Looking back, I never understood why she went through so much. And then at this point, when her children were assaulted severely this evening, this in question, she came in the middle of the night with bags, and she had bags of clothes. And I remember in my heart, I still remember that. I can feel the way I felt that night, just looking at my mom and saying that, thinking in my heart, you better not be playing, Mom. So all this happened in such a way and caused me as a young man, this was probably 11, 12 years old, and coming out of that life was transitioned into a life of my mom just pretty much allowed us to do whatever we wanted to do. And I fell into almost immediately drugs and alcohol, By the age of 12, I would say that I was an alcoholic and a drug addict. I would smoke drugs and take pills and drink every day, 12 years old. And this quickly transitioned as a teenager into a very violent pattern of life. Brutal violence that would be perpetrated on other people. I started hanging around with the wrong kind of people. We would rob, we would steal, we would beat people up, take their stuff as a teenager. And I hated God. I hated God. And I wasn't, you're not with me, you're against me type of hated God. I outwardly hated God. I would curse the heavens, cuss with profanity, say unbelievable things that you wouldn't say to your worst enemy, to God. This God that had an appointed day for me. This God that had shed his blood on the cross for me. This lifestyle spun out into a life of